Hello everybody, it's your boy the Almighty One coming at you with today's video pertaining to the situation with AJ Brown, his social media, IG and Twitter was should I say removed from the likes of fans, and what is going on with the team wise, all the above. But before I get right into the video, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe to the video. Please like the channel, and also please sub it. There are a lot of you guys out there who have watched the videos, probably didn't like it or liked it, but if you did, please sub it and share my content. As always, thank you very much for the 350 plus people that are on my channel. Thank you very much for subbing. And always gonna get right into the situation with AJ Brown. Okay, here we go. AJ Brown will not be playing in the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the first wild card division game that starts this coming Monday. He will not be playing because of the fact of the injury that he sustained in the New York Giants loss 27-10. In that horrid loss that I made a video on back here a couple of weeks ago. Please go by and sub and view that video. If you haven't, please do so by checking out before you finish this video and liking it. Anyway, now he also removed his Twitter account, and he also removed his IG account because for the simple fact of the backlash that he feared that he may receive from fans alike, and he has the right to do so, and I really can't blame him for that, because of the simple fact that this is a guy who's been through a lot in the entire season. He's been scrutinized. He also has things to say about the coaches and the offense that is ran by this organization, and a lot of other things to follow suit with that, but I'm not going to get into it in this video because that will making it more than what already been said. So like I said, you can't blame him for cutting off social media, because if that was me, I would too, because sometimes people say rude and cruel things, and so that's a lot of negativity to be brought upon him and the team. Now the fans out there, we fans like me, we do have our rights to talk about what goes on in the state of this team, and among the problems that we are having defensively, offensively, and the coaches. Now we can't blame special teams because special teams have been on fire all season, but that is another story to discuss at this time, which I will not talk about. It's just about the entire team as a whole. I mean, we can sit up here all day and talk about AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and the state of this team, because this game against Tampa Bay is a do or die for not just Sirianni, but for also the offensive and defensive coaching staff. But we already know that the defensive staff is going to be a remake going into next season. We all know who they're going to bring in as defensive coordinator. We all know what the defensive staff is going to look like, because we've had some guys on this team, on the coaching staff, like Denard Wilson, who we all fear who should have been defensive coordinator. He should have been, because if you look at the Baltimore Ravens, because that's where he's at. He's the defensive back coach at Baltimore, and you see how well Baltimore's backfield is looking. Their defensive backfield look damn good. So that is the situation there. So that's why he left the Eagles. And when they let Jonathan Gannon go to the Arizona Cardinals, you see how well he's doing in Arizona. This guy blitzing out his mind at Arizona. And they have a very high percentage blitz rate. They actually beat us in Philadelphia. And that's sad to say. So, and then someone made up this point, and I'm bringing it to you guys' attention. Every time we let coaches go, players go, And wherever they go, they be successful. Jonathan Gannon, prime example. Shane Steichen, prime example. Razul Douglas, prime example. Kaiser White, TJ, what's the name? TJ Edwards. All these guys have gone and have been successful. And don't forget Sidney, don't forget Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones, well, when he left the Philadelphia Eagles, he went, I forgot where he went, but wherever he went to, he was very successful in the NFL without the terms of playing with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that lets me know, I don't know if it's the organization or the team. I think it's the organization or the coach. I think it's the coaches. I think the Eagles don't have coaches to develop these players the way they should be playing at a high level. Because if you go far back into the Super Bowl, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, not 2004, but the Super Bowl when Peterson was the coach, the Eagles have had some coaches on their team that develop players, not just for the free agents, but also for the guys they bought in the draft. So you gotta look at that. Now, Doug Peterson had the same thing. He had some guys that he bought in from the coaching staff that develop players. Now we got a whole new different coaching staff. The only guy who's developing players is Stoutland. Stoutland's the only coach on this team that's developing offensive linemen. He's developing his talent. This guy is he is the best offensive line coach in the NFL. And this guy has survived 3 regimes of 3 different coaching staff. Sirianni in the third one. Peterson was the second one, and Chip Kelly was the first. 3 different organizations, 3 different coaches, or 3 different regimes. 3. Now, if Sirianni is fired, the question will be, will Stoutland stay for a 4th regime? Will he? That's the question that you ask yourself and you answer yourself, because he's the only guy on the team that has survived 3 different regimes of coaches. And sometimes money ain't the issue. Now, Stoutland probably the highest paid offensive line coach in the NFL currently, because I think the Eagles did re-sign him a couple years ago when Sirianni became head coach. I think they re-signed him to an extension and to a lot of money. So if he does decide to leave, there would be some compensation for him, because he's still under contract. So the Eagles have the right to ask for any compensation, a 1st round pick, 2nd or 3rd round pick, because if he develops offensive line coach in the NFL, that's a 1st and a 2nd round pick in itself. Or 2 1st round picks, one for this year and one for next following season. Depends on whatever the Eagles ask for. And for the service of Jeff Stoutland, the Eagles have the right to match that. So you got then the other guy, Kevin Patullo. Now, to me, Kevin Patullo should have been the offensive coordinator. Let me explain. When Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo, both guys are in their 2nd year. Brian Johnson was around Shane Steichen a lot, but Kevin Patullo is the play games coordinator, which means he helps coordinate the offensive plays that called. And I think he helped orchestrated Shane Steichen's play calling. So to me, I think Kevin Patullo should have been the offensive coordinator. In my opinion, should have been Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson should have remained as quarterback coach. I think if he remained a quarterback coach, he might have been. He probably would have been pegged to go to another team to be offensive coordinator. Because you have to think about the reversal. If he had left the Eagles and went to another team, which is now being interviewed for as a head coach, it makes you wonder how the offense really going to look if you go to a different team. And if he had left last year to be an offensive coordinator, which he would have been, it makes you wonder how the offense would have looked on that team. So you got a lot of things to think about if he left and to become head coach or left to become an offensive coordinator for an opposing team because the Cowboys wanted him. And then you got another team that also wanted them too. Two teams wanted Brian Johnson last year. The Cowboys put one, and another team wanted him as well. Now he's being interviewed by the Houston Texans. Not Houston Texans. He's being interviewed by the Panthers. Interviewed him already, and there's another team that wants to interview him for head coach. I forgot who it is. It one of the vacant coach, one of the vacant positions on another team that's looking for a coach. I know there's two of them. So he is getting some looks. And then, like I said, if he do leave, it makes you wonder what the offense gonna look like in the long run. Oh yeah, I know. Because if you go to Carolina, they already got a good quarterback. They already got a quarterback, and that's Bryce Young. They got Bryce Young. Bryce Young going into his second year. This should be his second year. He had a bad year, the rookie year, but I mean, if he can help, and then if he do become head coach, he might become head coach and quarterback coach. He may take on both responsibilities to monitor and mentor Bryce Young to become a good coach, to become a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And still run his style of offense. Might not be the same offense that we're running now, but it might run a different style of offense predicated to Bryce Young. So I mean, it's so many things to look at as far as coaches coming and going. Because I say this: if the Eagles do lose Brian Johnson, they need to bring somebody in to bring in a veteran offensive coordinator that can help Hurts become the quarterback he should have been, or take him back to his 2021 and 22 form. Get him back, in 2022 form, where he had a breakout year, throwing for 3,700 yards, and this year he was getting to the over 4,000 yards, but he wound up being he had 3,800 yards. He's 100 and some yards shy of 4,000. He would have had it if he had a 200-yard game against New York Giants. He would have had it. So you got to look at that. You got to look at the 20-some touchdowns that he has thrown, the 20 interceptions, the 20 turnovers, 15 picks, and 5 fumbles. That's the most turnovers he had in one season. And people say that's regression. I don't know if it might not be regression. It might be something else. I wouldn't call it regression. I would say he took a step back instead of taking a step forward. That's what I would say in Hurst's case. So, and then you gotta look at defense. The Eagles have had a chaos on defense this year after the 49ers game. The Eagles defense has been bad all year. Because the simple fact is, when they played a week 1 game against the New England Patriots, the Patriots laid the blueprint of how you stop Hurts, and they discovered the middle of the field being wide open by being exposed by their linebackers. They've been exposed. The linebackers were trash this year. The secondary was trash this year. You got Slay, or should I say Darius, had a subpar season. He had a couple of injuries this year. Then you had Bradbury, who he is not the corner we thought he would be, because somebody said that he's more of a zone cornerback, which is probably true. Which means that he has the ability to play up on the line instead of playing off 6 or 7 yards off the receiver. And when you play like that off the receiver, the receiver can actually catch the ball 5 yards and get 5 more yards for the first down. And so that leads him to tackle one-on-one when he could tackle at the line. Get the quarterback, once the receiver gets the ball to his hands, he had to make the tackle right there. That's the kind of cornerback that actually Bradbury actually is. Bradbury is not a zone. He's not a space corner. See, Slay is a space corner, which means that he has the ability to shadow his shadow his player, the player he going up against. And he done that extraordinary well throughout most of his career. But he has also been a victim of some plays as well. Then we've had Avonte Maddox in out of the lineup. The guy had an ankle injury that bothered him most of the season. He came back one game and went out a game again with a knee injury, somewhere along those lines. So, and then Roby also had an injury, and then they've been putting in different players in what they call it, the nickel position. And the guys they played there will Eli Ricks is not a nickel corner. The other boy, Ringo, is not a nickel corner. These guys are physical in your face corners. The Eagles are established at the corner position with either Eli Ricks or Ringo. Those guys played pretty good late in the season, but they also been a victim as well by good opposing quarterbacks. So next year, 2024 season is gonna be an interesting off season because the game against Tampa Bay concerns me a lot because AJ Brown, like I mentioned earlier in the video, he's out for this game. You only got Devontae Smith, who teams are going to roll their coverage towards. Then you got Dallas Goedert, who teams also going to put some missed coverages on him as well. So the Eagles are going to find so Hurt is going to find that third and fourth option at receiver, and that goes in the line of Isaiah Keys or the other receiver. I can't think of the boy's name, but he hasn't played good none this year at all. He also been in and out of the lineup. I forgot the boy's name. His name was just mentioned earlier at the video that I was looking at. If I don't think about his name now, you guys come and see me let me know what the guy's name is. I forgot the receiver's name. But the Eagles have an issue there. Then we've had problems running the football. Then when we have run the football, it's been effective. The Eagles have not showed no motion. They showed some motion late in the season, but they should have showed motion early in the season. No, they just started showing motion. So when you show motion, you get the quarterback under center, he has to be able to read the defense because when you're under center, you can read the defense better when you're under center. Because now teams can start playing the Eagles differently. And it started way back in week 1. And it went all the way into the bye week. And the bye week is when you make adjustments. You make big time adjustments in your bye week. The Eagles came out in that in the Kansas City game. No adjustments. They battled won the game 21-17. Then they played the Buffalo Bills and battled won that game 34-31. If you guys remember, it was 31-31 at halftime. Near halftime, overtime. I want to say the Buffalo Bills kicked the 3-point field goal, which made it 34-31. I think that's what it was. And then the Eagles went all day. They went downfield diligently downfield with their pinpoint accuracy and getting the ball out of his hands. Wop. Receivers making plays, making plays. And then I think it was a fourth down. Today was a fourth down play, or it might have been a third down play. That's actually what it was. But they were right there at the 30-yard line. Might have been 35-yard. I know it was 1 yard lines. But I want to say what it was. And Hurts made the call, got the ball to his hands, and prayers were covered. So he ran the ball into the end zone for the score, and that went in the game. What was it? 38-34. I think that's what it was. 38-34. Like I said, it was tied 31-31 halftime. So yeah, it was 38-34. We won that game by 4 points. And then the San Francisco game came, the game that changed the narrative of the Eagles' offense, especially their defense. Lost their game by a blowout, 42-17. I think that was the score. Might have been a little bit more points than that. But I know the 49ers scored over 40 points in that game. And that, done us in. Cowboys game, 33 points. Seattle game, 20 points they scored. And we had the lead, 17-14. And it was 17-17 halftime in that Seattle game. We had the lead. We had the lead and blew it. Then after that game, the New York Giants won that game. Cardinals game, lost that game. Giants game at MetLife, lost that game. The Eagles have won 5 of their last 6 games. So that goes back to the run. And if you look at those last games, the the Buffalo Bills game. Change that. The Kansas City game. Because that's where they start running the ball effectively. The Kansas City game, Buffalo game, San Fran game, Giants game. No, I'm sorry. Let's go back. The Kansas City game, Buffalo game, San Fran game, Giants game. No, sorry, not San Fran. San Fran, Dallas. That's Dallas. The 4th, Dallas, Seattle, Giants, Kansas City. Those 7 games, the Eagles neglected to run the football. In the last game, we just lost New York Giants. They neglected to run the football. When they did run the football in some of them games, you can tell the change in the offense. But when you predicate into passing the ball more than running, that's going to hurt you along the way because you're prone to hold on to the ball longer than what you should. That can lead to picks or lead to you getting sacks or getting balls knocked down. It can lead to you getting hit for negative yards. And then if you try to run the ball on 1st and 10, when you probably should have ran it on 1st and 10, teams are going to depict that and they're going to contain the run, stop it. You're going to lose yards. So the Eagles have been losing more. The Eagles have lost more yards this year than they ever had in previous years. And I want to take it right back to the Chip Kelly era. The Eagles were efficient in Chip Kelly first and second year. In his 3rd year, teams caught on, and the Eagles lost more yards than any team that last Chip Kelly era year. That last Chip Kelly year. That last year, the Eagles had negative yards. And haven't had that many negative yards lost up until this season. That's been almost 10 years ago. So it is something, so many things to look at and talk about, and that's really, really terrible to even talk about on actual video here. But you guys who are Eagle fans know exactly what I mean when I say when you had negative yards lost in the last year of Chip Kelly era. In the last year up until this year. That's been a long time that we have had a lot of negative yards lost. We lost more. We had more negative yards this year, penalties, and all of that in years. It has been so many. It's been a long time the Eagles have had negative yards and this many penalties lost in years to come. Chip Kelly era, 2015 was it. That's the last time we had that many negative yards, penalty-wise, and tackles for losses in the backfield, or interceptions, or fumbles. All that when you get tackled in the backfield Here were all the yards that negative comes from. Tackle for losses behind the line of scrimmage, interceptions, fumbles, and last but not least, if I'm correct, when fourth down, when you lose, when you go 4 and out, when you get the ball back to the opposing offense, those are 4 when you lose negative yards. Eagles had that many negative yards this year alone since 2015, Chip Kelly's last year in the NFL. For the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean. It's been a long time, folks. Long time. So I'm praying this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this video on this playoff game, wild card game. The Eagles play Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. Matter of fact, that's Martin Luther King birthday. The 15th. 15th is Monday. It's coming Monday. That's Martin Luther King birthday. The Eagles play Tampa Bay. The Eagles are favored to win the game by, from what I've been heard, from what I've told, 2.5, 3.5 point margin. I really would look past that because that is not true. The matter of fact, to me, that's laughable. Because if the Eagles come out playing the same way they played all season, ain't no way of winning this football game. Ain't no way. And if that happens, there will be some change in the coaching staff. They already saying Nick Sirianni could be fired if we lose this football game, which could be true. I mean, it could be a big turnover on the coaching side, defense especially. It's going to be a big changeover. Only people I see staying in the coaching staff is probably Jeff Stoutland. He might remain. It depends on if he get worn out on the coaching staff. That could wear down because so many coaching staff changes and so many different voices can wear out coaches, especially long-time coaches. So Stoutland might leave. He might leave himself, and if he leave, he could return to the college level. He could return there, or he could go to another team and make them better. He has a ring. In fact, 2 rings. No, 3 rings. He won 2 Alabama, and he won with the Philadelphia. So he got 3 rings. So his credibility is already set. The question is, will he remain with the Philadelphia Eagles? That is the question. And you got Kevin Patullo, who probably could stay. Them are 2 guys I see staying on the coaching staff. Defense, I really don't know. On defense, I don't know. I really don't know. That whole coaching staff might get up. That whole coaching staff on defense might get a whole complete makeover. And it depends on who they bring in as coach. Now, there's a lot of talk going on with Brian Belichick. Now, I mean, is it Brian Belichick? No, I'm sorry, Bill Belichick. There's been talk with Bill Belichick. Now, if he does come in as coach, he gonna want to bring in his own defensive staff, and he might bring 3 or 4 of them over from New England. Name his son Brian. Now, Brian Belichick is a linebacker coach for them. Wherever his father go, I'm quite sure he's gonna come. And he probably want to moving up from linebacker coach to probably defensive line coach, or it could be in the coaching training on defense. He could want to be motivated for being put there. And defensive coordinator, who they gonna bring a defensive coordinator? I hope it don't be Matt Patricia. Hope they bring someone else in. And now offense is gonna be the question mark. Who they gonna make the offensive coordinator? What kind of offense they gonna bring in to help Hurts, help Devontae Smith, to help AJ Brown, to help Devontae Swift if he stays. So it's a lot to talk about, a lot to consider, and a lot to actually wonder what's going to happen with the team after Monday night loss or win. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, this is your boy ending the video on that on that note, you guys enjoy your Sunday and Monday, because it is what it is. And I'm the Almighty One. I'm out. Peace.